Hello, Guardians. Welcome back to Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrigan. Alongside me, as always, is the Texas Ranger himself, Josh Finney.
I fucking hate the Texas Rangers so much. I both love and hate them. I feel like the narration during the Fellowship of the Ring when Gandalf is talking about Gollum in the ring, he hates and loves the ring much as he hates and loves himself. Well, I fucking hate the Texas Rangers, but I also love them. A lifetime of being a Rangers fan has prepared me for inevitably every single disappointment I will face in my life going forward.
You're speaking to a Browns fan, man.
Except when they actually play. Yeah, right? Like, we're two very long-suffering sports fans in this room right now.
Yeah. Look,
and it's like, both of us can cling to an NBA championship, though.
It's true. That, yes.
Both of which were miracles, I might add, and involved LeBron James.
Yeah.
It went better for LeBron in one of them.
Man. Dude, remember... By the way, remember in 2007 when LeBron basically was the Cavs and he took like Darius Miles and Drew Gooden and Zydrunas Ilgauskas to the finals to fight?
Is that when we still believed in Anderson Varejao?
Yeah. Well, and we got swept by the Spurs, but like,
oh god, yeah, y'all gave them another ring for the dynasty, and it was like, oh look, Pop's back. Like, no, you went up against the practice squad and LeBron James.
Yeah, well, dude, before LeBron, let's face it, the Cavs hadn't been any good since like the early '90s when Mark Price was their point guard and Brad Daugherty was their forward, right? And it's like, oh boy, man, and even then. They were good, but they weren't that good, you know?
Yeah, they've never been, like, truly good.
Yeah. And then, Craig Elo, and the infamous shot by Michael Jordan over Craig Elo that, they went to their first finals in 93. So.
Yeah, I've been a Mavs fan my whole life, too. So I'm used to, I got used to winning seasons, but not making it far in the playoffs.
You also had
Dirk. I've heard all the playoff jokes. Well, I mean, you have to remember before Dirk won his ring, Dirk was seen as like somebody who never fulfilled their potential. Like, yeah. Dirk was not appearing on greatest of all time lists or anything, and then he gets a title and he gets a ring, and all of a sudden, like, people are like, "Hey, is Dirk a top 25 player all time?" God, and I'm like, oh, listen, some of us have been making this argument since like 2007, but okay,
right.
I'll never forget us going to the finals against the Heat in 2006, getting fucked by the refs. So we were up 2-0, get fucked by the refs. Very, very reminiscent of what's happening in the Houston, Texas series right now, I might add. Get completely fucked. And he comes back the next season. They set a franchise record. They win like 67, 68 games. And then they lose to the We Believe Warriors in the first round. And that was probably like the most soul crushing defeat I'd ever had as a fan, because Dirk then had to accept the MVP like a week later, and his team's already out of the playoffs. It was very awkward. And so you take that, and like I still see comments about that series. Like, it still haunts the Mavs fan base. But winning exercises a lot of demons. I don't know if the demons from the Rangers losing in 2011 to the St. Louis Cardinals will ever be exercised. Like, people like to bring up to me that Marchand did not run the ball in Super Bowl 49. And I have to tell you, we won the title the year before. That is way less soul-crushing for me than being 1 out away from winning the first World Series in franchise history twice in the same game.
Yeah.
And still losing to David fucking Freese. So, don't root for anything. Don't root for anything in life. Don't have anybody that you root for. I learned that during the Halo Championships this weekend. I'm going to start rooting for every team I don't like so that they never win anything. FaZe Clan, I hope you win everything for the rest of your professional careers. Houston Astros, I hope you make it to another World Series this year.
Oh, man. Dude. The only thing I care about is that we beat the 49ers with the...
You beat the 49ers, yeah. Apparently good things can still happen to teams I don't root for.
God, dude, the Browns defense is so good, though, man.
It's like the best in the league.
It's dude, it through 5 games, we have the lowest yards given up since like the 70s.
Ridiculous.
We're giving
Absolutely
up
ridiculous.
we're giving up 200.16 yards a game.
And then you have PJ Walker out here.
And we've only given up the defense has only given up like 4 or 5 touchdowns the entire season. 4, I think. No, 5 because of the Steelers game. I forgot about that. Man. By the way, Josh, I forgot to tell you last week, but someone DM'd me on Instagram and said they, with all the sports that we talk about on the show, they wish we did a 20-minute sports cast.
No. It's not possible. Stop asking us.
We already did an Xbox show for everybody.
We already do an Xbox show. Honestly, like sports talk would just be like us complaining about our teams. Frankly, there would be no happiness. There would be no joy. No. It would just be the fact that Corey is still a Browns and a Cavs fan, and I'm still a Mavs and a Rangers fan.
Yeah,
it would just be sadness around the clock. Occasionally, the Seahawks will present a glimmer of hope.
By the way, Cavs social media. By the way, like besides. You know, we have 4 of the top 50 players in the league right now, apparently, but also maybe 4 of the top 100. I'm not 100%.
I get 4 of the top 100.
But everything else is about our second round draft pick, Imani Bates.
I'm trying to figure out who the 4th player is because it's Mobley, Garland, and Mitchell.
And Jared Allen.
I'm going to be honest, I completely forgot Jared Allen played for you guys.
Yeah,
I spent so much time looking at trade rumors about him to Dallas this year that you would think I would remember that. No, everyone already knew that Imani Bates was going to be good. It's just there was questions about his character because he got caught on a gun charge as like an 18-year-old on a college campus. Not great given the environment of school shootings.
Right.
So it was actually not with a misdemeanor, was charged with felony possession. And that's why he was not a top 20 pick, and that's why he was picked like number 57.
Yeah.
Oh, the Rangers over! Oh, thank God we remembered how to hit the ball! I have the game pulled up. I'm extremely sorry to anybody if I just burst out in jubilation because I'm channeling my inner Luka Doncic, okay? I'm channeling him. This is the souvenir ticket from that amazing New York Knicks game last year.
Ooh. I was right. We do have 4 people in the top 50.
Jared Allen's in the top 50?
He's number 50.
How?
Evan Mobley's 40.
I don't understand this.
Okay,
Mobley and Allen should not be within 10 spots of each other. At all. Like, unless you're looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers depth chart.
This is on sportsillustrated.com, or SI.com, I guess. Darius Garland's number 36 and Donovan Mitchell's number 15.
36? That feels a lot. Okay. Anyways, guys, I promise we're going to stop talking about sports.
No, we're not.
Corey and I could talk. Listen, NBA season tips off in a couple nights. Corey and I could sit here and talk about the NBA all night. But I'm just getting sadder and sadder as we get closer. So.
Oh, I've got a new Cavs hat, too.
You've got a new Cavs hat.
I did. It's orange and navy blue.
I was going to have show and tell because my wonderful Excalibur plaque did arrive, but it's not here right now. It's down in my garage.
Ooh, go get it.
I'm not going to go get it.
But I can vamp about the Browns and how good they were on Sunday.
Nope.
To be fair, we lost because they missed a field goal, but still.
No, so I'll show it next week. It is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. I did not look at the dimensions when I ordered it. It's like yay big.
Oh, I thought it was huge.
I thought it was huge too. I was like, oh man, this is like half the size I thought it was. And then I was talking to Johnny, and Johnny's like, oh, it's like double the size I thought it was going to be. He's like, I thought it was going to be like a paperweight.
Oh.
I was like, oh. Well, I did not read the dimensions, so
everyone's wrong.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody's wrong. I need Sakurai to come out and announce that we're wrong. Man, it's been kind of a crazy week though, Corey.
I know. Josh, I beat Spider-Man. That was crazy.
You beat Spider-Man. I'm about to dive in on Spider-Man 2 as soon as this pod ends. I'm diving in on Spider-Man 2 tonight. It'll have unlocked, and I plan on staying up late.
Nice.
To enjoy some Spider-Man, as they say, the Spider-Men.
Yeah,
I'm actually looking forward to a relatively short AAA game.
I know you can Game Informer said you could platinum it in 25 hours.
Yes, and the main story, if you're just mainlining the campaign, it's like 10 hours.
Yeah,
this is like the best news that I've ever heard. Yes, I spent $70 on this game, but I'm so excited to have a shorter game and something that's not like 150 open world hours.
Yeah.
Because the gauntlet that we have been on this year, and that's like even without me doing Baldur's Gate 3 yet, has just been exhausting.
Yeah.
And then it's even more exhausting when you factor in that I ended last year on a run of Persona 5 Royale, God of War Ragnarok, and then went into Persona 4 Golden. So I'm very tired of long games right now. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for Mario RPG next month. Super Mario Brothers Wonder looks awesome.
It does. That comes out tomorrow.
That's the game.
Also, right?
Yep. Yeah. That comes out tomorrow as well. I'll be playing that over the Christmas break though. I bought it and hopefully it arrives without my girlfriend realizing it. I bought it for her for Christmas.
Ooh.
So it'll be showing up sometime tomorrow.
Nice.
I used my other digital voucher to buy myself Super Mario RPG.
Fair.
I knew she would have no interest in it, and I've always wanted to play this game. So
this would be the time to do it.
this would in fact be the time to do it. So pretty excited for that. Dead Space comes to Game Pass this week. Dead Space remake.
I saw that.
Very excited. Alan Wake 2 comes out right before Halloween. That unfortunately has to become a November game for me. I simply just don't have the time to get to it right now. Or the money, frankly. Games are expensive, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, especially those people who only play Destiny every year, and that's kind of like their game. But games, expensive. Who knew?
Yeah, so it's been a whole thing. I'm excited though. Corey, after tonight, we've only got 4 episodes left until the end of the season.
I know.
There are 5 weeks technically, but that 5th week is the week of Thanksgiving, so we'll be taking it off as always.
Yeah, we should probably talk about like the weeks we're not recording.
Yeah, so we're not planning to do the week of Thanksgiving. Just some kind of like end of year notes. We're getting there. No show the 23rd, 24th of November. No show that week because that is Thanksgiving. We're making it up to you the next week though, because we're assuming that the dungeon is out the first week of the new season, and then the week of Christmas for sure we're for sure not doing a show the week before or the week of Christmas.
Right, so that would be like the 15th and the 24th, I think.
The 22nd and the 29th.
Yeah. Wow.
Are the Fridays. Yeah. So December 14th or 15th, sometimes they post on Thursday nights, sometimes they don't. Spotify is weird. But
you mean the show?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I post it as soon as I edit it. So
I know you do. It's just Spotify is sometimes, at least for me, is delayed sometimes.
Yeah.
Very weird. But the week of the 14th, December 14th, will be our final show of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go on break. That'll give us 2 wonderful days with Christmas Grandma, presumably.
Christmas Grandma.
But there may be some other schedule changes as we get into the holidays. I currently have tickets to go to the Cowboys Seahawks game on the 30th of November. So and that would normally be a night that we record. Corey and I have discussed maybe recording a night early that week. I would like to be here for discussion of the beginning of the final season.
Yeah.
Any story implications, obviously. So we'll firm that up as we get closer. And I've talked to Joe Aces. He's going to join us in the next week or 2. I need to firm up a date with him.
Joe Aces.
He's going to come in. We're going to talk bows with him. We're going to talk the Wishender effect. Wishender's seen a lot of uptick in usage. He's using it a lot in Crota's End. It's being used a lot in PvP. Just quite why is this bow having a what you call resurgence. We did have a question last week asking us to discuss that, so I wanted to bring in a bowmaster to talk about it and just talk about bows in general. Why they've been so good, why they're such an effective go-to weapon in both PvE and PvP these days. So he has agreed to come on. I just need to figure out a date with him. It'll either be next week or the week after, though. I kind of want to. Not that I want to get through this, but I want to try and clear the runway as we get to the end of the season, so to speak.
Yeah. Man, remember bows were revealed? How
I do. I was so excited for bows to be revealed, and then I didn't like them.
Yeah.
Which made me really upset. I was really upset, genuinely upset that they weren't good.
Yeah.
So.
Well. Yeah. Anyways, we should.
It is what it is.
We should probably get into some of the Destiny stuff since
we should probably get into some Destiny stuff.
Almost 20 minutes into the show and haven't really touched on it at all.
it's okay. We're here as a community. It's okay.
Yeah.
Pretty light Schwab this week. We're talk Schwab. We'll talk some Festival of the Lost. We finally got the API updated.
Yeah,
this is like the best news all season for me.
Josh is very excited, guys.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
New shirt incoming. Update the API.
Oh my god. Yeah. Bungie, fix Ishtar Collective. Even though it's not your website. The Festival of the Lost is in full swing. That's basically what the Schwab is this week, let's be honest. These new masks, I'm kind of digging them.
Yeah.
You get Marasov, you get Disciple Callus, you get the Doggo, you get Good Boy. You get the Rolk one is my favorite one, I think.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
You get Nimbus, you get Clovis Bray, you get a Puka one, and then the Tormentor one is pretty cool too. Both Joasis and I have Tormentor fits going on. I think my fit looks better with the Rolk one personally, but I was already rocking red and black before this.
Yeah.
So that's been a lot of fun. We do have a fashion contest going on in the Discord, by the way. Sponsored by yours truly. All submissions got to be sent to Nerd Generalist by I think the date that we said was the 30th. Let me check my own rules really quickly. I don't remember what he and I agreed on before I give out false information over the airwaves. Of course, you can go to the contest tabs and take a look at it. Submissions are open until 10/24. That's so we can get the votes in before Halloween. That would make sense. So you guys have until the 24th if you're listening to this to get those in, and then we'll have a week of voting. You get $10 in silver and the server title of Freak Show.
Freak Show.
I was going to do Ghoulish Guardian, and I was overruled by everybody. Freak Show was way better. I think it was Fox superposed it. So very excited. Your best spooky fit. We hadn't done a fashion contest in a while, so very excited for that. Have you seen the challenge that you have to do for the all black memento?
No.
So you have to. It's a hidden triumph. It's listed in Season of the Witch and not in the Halloween triumphs, which is really weird.
Oh.
And it just has question marks on it. It doesn't tell you how to do it. So people were obviously having to deduce it. Joasis and I were trying all sorts of different things for one of them for like an hour and couldn't figure it out. The first one is to go do the Fallen Saber Strike while wearing the Clovis Bray mask.
Oh.
That was a little weird. We were like, huh? Because we tried going and talking to Clovis with the mask on. We tried talking to Mara with the Uldren O-Face mask. We tried talking to Crow with the Mara mask on. We went and emoted with Puka masks in the Puka Pond, and that didn't work. I still think that would have been the better one. Everything else is Lightfall themed. Yeah. The second one is get 100 kills on Neomuna with the Nimbus mask equipped. And then the last one is get 25 finisher kills in Legend Haunted sectors while wearing the Tormentor mask.
Ooh.
That was really spicy. Joe and I basically threw a Lost sector yesterday, much to the chagrin of our randomly placed teammate, because all we were doing was running around trying to get finishers. But it was pretty wacky. That unlocks the all black memento that you can get for your guns. Very cool. There was a bug that has been fixed as of tonight. You can get additional copies of this memento to drop from Eerie Ingrams now.
Ooh.
So kind of gives a reason to go and do that. Very excited.
Nice.
So
cool. Mask time, everybody. Put your
masks. Get your masks on. The weapon this year is a heavy strand grenade. I think it's a strand grenade launcher. It's a heavy grenade launcher. It might not be strand. I might just be talking out of my ass. I used it like once and deleted it. It's fine. It's one of those that like heavy grenade launchers are in such a weird place, and I feel like if you have a good one, you have a good one.
Right.
I think the one that I'm rocking is Impulse Amplifier Cascade Point. Is the one that I have on right now. So kind of curious to see how that'll work. I just kind of tossed it in my vault. I'm not really going to worry about getting weapons. I'm more worried about getting the exotic armor focused on my Warlock because you can get the cheap focusing. Still pretty stoked for that. Overall, I mean, it's standard Festival of the Lost. Like you know what you're getting when you do this. I love that Imaru and Ido are a part of the event this year.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. She keeps calling Halloween the Hall Between. Huh. I really love how sassy Imaru is during this, and it's just the two of them. I don't think Glint has any dialogue during it this year, and maybe voice actor availability, or just like, hey, we already had Imaru's voice actor in here doing a ton of stuff for this season. Let's just get him to record a bunch of dialogue.
Yeah.
And with Ido, we've suspected since the reveal of the Collector's Edition, she's going to have a pretty big role to play in the season coming up, since the letter in the Collector's Edition is written by Ido to the Guardian.
Yeah.
So it would make sense if you've already got them recording lines for that. Hey, why not be a part of Festival of the Lost? But it's cool. It's all new dialogue in there this year. It's a lot of fun. Still, same 4 haunted sectors as last year. I still think this is a better event than the Haunted Forest was, personally.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Remember? Oh my gosh, the Haunted Forest, man.
Yeah, it's very funny. It did not dawn on me until the other day when I was playing Festival of the Lost sectors. When I was doing the Lost sectors, that my girlfriend had not seen that they had changed the haunted sectors. She was like, she's like, do they still do the Haunted Forest? And I was like, no. They sunset Mercury like 3 years ago, honey. And she was like, oh, I guess that's the last time I paid attention to the Halloween event. She's like, I always liked it. I was like, you are the only person. I think the idea was just like the Infinite Force. The idea was always cool. It was just never utilized.
Yeah.
So bit of a bummer on that end. I kind of hope that maybe we can see a return of it in the future. But for right now, this is cool. I think the Legend Sectors edition is a really good move. As well as the exotic focusing, the Eerie Ingrams. We were kind of wondering how were they going to handle the weapons, and like I'm getting so many drops just doing the sectors that I don't feel like I need to specifically focus the weapons at all.
Yeah.
I think another solution would have been, let us make these craftable, but I don't think that'll ever happen. Braytech Werewolf is conspicuously absent this year.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. Yeah,
we were wondering last week, and it is officially gone this year. It is nowhere to be found. I hope this doesn't signal that once we've hit like 3 years of a weapon, 3 or 4 years of a weapon being available, we're getting rid of it.
Yeah.
At that point, I think you should just allow it to be craftable. Let everybody just get the pattern for free.
Yeah. You know what they could get rid of though? Jurassic Green.
Jurassic Green fucking rocks. I don't know what you're talking about.
Now it does,
brother. You can get
back then.
It has always been good. You can get heel clip incandescent on that thing. That thing is hot.
Man,
it's genuinely it's one of the best PvP pulses in the game. I'm not even joking. Like even before the new perks this season, it genuinely has always been a very good PvP pulse. There's better options, sure, but it's always been a very good choice.
I feel like I didn't like it when I had it.
I mean, it may be down to personal preference, but I've talked several PvP players that I've talked to absolutely love the thing. And I'm even more excited now. Now it's got way better perks than it ever had before.
Well, you know me, Josh, Mr. PvP. That's what they
Yep,
call me.
Corey is a PvP main now.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. PvP main. Here I am.
PvP main. Indeed.
Dealer, hit me up. We'll go to the lighthouse like 6 times in one night. Let's go.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I'm liking the event. I will say, I'm gonna say words I never thought I would on this show.
Uh-oh.
Corey,
Yeah.
I'm buying the upgraded event card.
What? That's not something Josh does.
I love the Sparrow that is a part of this. It is
You're contributing to Festival of the Cost, Josh.
Corey, it's a candy corn shaped Sparrow, and it shoots candy corn out of the back.
Oh, okay, well, that's kind of cool.
I kind of love it. And then the emote you get with it is it's a vampire dance.
Ooh.
You get like a cloak on and everything. There's like a moon above you.
Ooh.
It's kind of great. And I like the shader. The shader is like black and gray, but the gray is like metallic.
Ooh, that sounds
fun. I actually really unfortunately I like the things that you get from this, and I might get it, but there's another really cool Sparrow. It's like a hearse, like an old timey hearse.
Ooh,
like an 1800s one, like a horse drawn one. It looks. My girlfriend calls it the Haunted Mansion Sparrow. That looks really cool. I really like how that one looks. And there's a UFO ship also.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was like, okay, there's actually like stuff that I think that's worth buying here, but I need to see if it's going to be available for dust at any point in the next couple weeks.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they actually did really good cosmetics this year, which is something I feel like I haven't said for a while outside of the armor sets. I've genuinely liked the armor sets the last couple of years. I don't like that. I'm gonna go on an island, and I feel like I'm kind of alone on this one.
No, the bug sucks. The bug ones suck.
Okay, thank you. Corey at least agrees with me. Other people have told me I'm insane, I'm crazy. I kind of like the Warlock set because it's like very subtle. And I also found out that like the like bug wing on the back actually moves like when you jump, apparently.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Which I think that's an awesome little addition. I don't like the Titan set. The Titan set is, like we said last week, it's like Family Dollar version of Blue Beetle. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. And the Hunter set, upon seeing it in game, I'm just like, yeah, this isn't doing it for me either. It's not doing it. If I could just buy the Hunter helmet, then I probably would. But it's long past time to let us just buy individual pieces of armor from these sets.
Right.
We have like 6 years, and I'm not even kidding. Like we legitimately have like 6 or 7 years of Halloween armor in the shop. It also reminds you just like how shitty the armor used to be.
Yeah.
Anybody remember the glow in the dark skeleton sets from year 2?
Yikes.
Yeah, it was really bad. They started doing the theming after that, and I thought it was cool because like they did monsters one year because it was the werewolves for hunters, it was the vampires for warlocks, and I think Titans were they weren't the Cyclops that year. They were something else. I forget what they were.
Yeah.
But their set wasn't bad either. And then we got, it wasn't dinosaurs after that. We got something else in between.
What about the mechs? Didn't we get the mechs?
We got mechs. Mechs was last year. Yeah, mech was last year. We got dinosaurs the year before that. There was something in between the werewolf and that set. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, it's a reminder of how far we've come with some of these event sets for sure. I feel that when I look at like the Solstice armors and Guardian games, I think has always been like kind of solid. Like they've always stuck to the theme.
Yeah.
As it came along as the last of like the 4 main events.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, it's a nice little event to kick back. Like I saw somebody already complaining about how there's nothing to do with the event, and everybody's, it was so nice to see the entire Reddit community just turn against this person and be like, dude, please go outside. I wish I had as much time as you do to play this. That you're already done with the lore book. You've already got all the masks and everything else. Like, please go outside. Please do something with your life.
Yeah.
I do think a lot of us have been trying to speed run this and maybe staying up way later than we should, trying to grind out things because if you're not doing like the page cheese, then you're playing actual activities and you're getting 3 per activity, and it just takes forever.
Yeah. The set before the dinosaurs, by the way, was like that weird chemical melting set. where like the hunter had like the glowing eyes.
I don't remember it then.
Here, I'll just send the link and maybe that'll refresh your memory. It's like halfway down this page. Because I forgot about the skeleton suits, man. Those were awful. Those are terrible.
Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. So I forgot about that first set. Is what I forgot about. I forgot about the very first set. We went glowing skeleton armor. Yeah, that's like the werewolf and vampire set I was thinking of. Yeah. And we went to dinosaurs and the timeline has just gotten so weird on some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that of all the 4 events, this is probably still it's probably my favorite actual event. My favorite mechanic is still baking the cookies. I think baking the cookies is a blast.
Baking
and it's
cookies.
So easy to just get a ton of bright dust out of that event.
Yeah.
I still enjoy it. I don't like hunting for the ingredients, but it is fun to see like what ridiculous characters you have to deliver a cookie to this year.
Yeah.
And this year it's almost certainly going to be Asha and Amaru.
Yeah.
Which really thrills me. That you're gonna have to deliver. I want to see what kind of cookie I have to give Nimbus also. So there'll be some fun ones, I'm sure. We have a lot of questions about the holiday events though tonight.
Yeah.
Which it's probably about time that we talk about holiday events, anyways. Just kind of going through the rest of this Schwab. Any other thoughts on Festival of the Lost this year, Corey? I feel like if we have anything else, like maybe we can like talk about it next week. But I don't think there's too much else. Like it's what it is at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really care for the armor sets. I think what they're doing with Amaru and Ido is interesting. Like it's an interesting kind of mix of characters, but other than that, it's this Festival of Lost.
It's Festival of Lost. You know it at this point. Legend Lost Sectors, great edition. Absolutely great edition.
That is a really good edition, especially for people who are wanting to grind out stuff, right? So
yeah, I'm a big fan. We talked last week about the. I don't know if we talked about it last week. It may have been just something we talked about on Twitter, but Sparrows are getting a boost. Always on time.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, so all legendary and exotic Sparrows will have 2 speed selection options moving forward. One matching always on time, and one matching the older, highest speed that was available to offer a choice in handling and speed control. Yeah, I think we're all going to do that. All legendary and exotic Sparrows will move from 100 to 150 health to be more durable to match always on time's health pool. It does have a few unique benefits since it is the exotic raid Sparrow from. Oh my god, I'm completely forgetting the name of it.
Exotic raid Sparrow
from the raid you get Anarchy from. I'm completely blanking on the name. Scourge of the Past. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, you get the better fuel economy, the lower enemy aggression, and the better side to side boost. Really only becomes essential when you need to go do Grasp of Avarice. That's like the only time I've ever, other than the actual raid that you get it in, is the only time that I've been like, oh yeah, I need to use something like this. Glad I never forked out the 240 raid bucks for it.
240 raid bucks. Your spoils?
My spoils. I call them raid bucks, man. Raid bucks. Yeah, save them. Spend them on something better.
Yeah.
buy Anarchy or Teraba. Weapons exiting the loot pool.
Bye-bye.
Nightfalls. Buzzard's final week is this week. Love when you guys tell us partway through the week. That's just fantastic. Y'all gotta get better about this. We need to know at the beginning of the season, so that way you have a couple opportunities to try and get these weapons.
Also, why is it leaving in the middle of a season? Or like
it's not. This is just the last week it's gonna be on the rotation.
Oh, okay.
That's what they're saying. Like it's your last chance at the adept version. The regular version you will still be able to buy through Zavala.
All right,
and then Swarm's final week is next week. which is fine. I mean, I think we're all kind of ready for Swarm to be out of that loophole. A little surprised the Buzzard is going away so quickly. And in Trials of Osiris, should be no surprise. They are trying to get Immortal out here as quickly as possible. The final week will be the week of 10/24 when you can do Trials next weekend. So not the week you're listening to this pod, the week after. And I'll do another reminder on next week's pod. Go get the best SMG in the game. Even after 2 nerfs, it's doing Recluse style shit still. So go get it. Try and get an adept one. I will be trying to get a regular roll, a decent regular roll. That is. This has just been a horrible year for me. Literally every single Immortal weekend has had either something going on or some sort of family tragedy. So I have not to get dark. I have not had a chance to get Immortal yet in game. I might have to resort to just buying them from Saint next season. And then Astral Horizons final week will be the week of November the 7th. So it is what it is. Checkmate is changing over to Checkmate Rumble.
Ooh.
Yeah, whoopee. Can't wait to ignore that. And then Prime Gaming. There is it's a spooky bundle. There's some older exotic. There's an exotic emote in there. There's a new projection. Festival of the Lost projection. Pretty thrilled about that. So it could be worse.
Could be.
It could be worse. So
could be better.
I mean, I think the Prime Gaming drops have genuinely gotten a little bit better over the last few months. We got a special shader in this past one. I like when they do that, when they give you a shader, which we get that every so often. We get a special shader giving us older exotic emotes. Is always nice to see. When they were doing the exotic ornaments for a while there, that was the best.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I haven't kept up with the Prime Gaming stuff. I kind of forget it exists most of the time.
That is fair. And then just kind of the last thing in here is Festival of the Lost will conclude at the weekly reset on November the 7th. So we've got a while.
Yeah.
We got a while with this. And I think a lot of that's due to the fact that Halloween is on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
They want to keep the event around through Halloween, obviously.
Yeah.
So this makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right. So we put out a call for questions, and man, y'all delivered. So we're gonna answer some questions first, and then we're gonna have an extra long Lore Corner tonight because it's been so long. I've got 2 long pieces for us to do tonight.
They must so when I looked at the questions earlier, there were only like 5 or 6, so they must have like
no, there's a lot. There's a lot. We've got like 11 in the actual thread and then a couple in the channel. So we'll hit some of these here questionees because a lot of this is stuff we were going to talk about anyways. So we're gonna go ahead and discuss it. Let me get the right thread pulled up and not last week's questions. All right. Joasis writes in, what is one quality of life change you'd love to see in the game? Personally, I'd love to see a button I can press to store weapons directly to the postmaster. I think that would be a cool one. My problem with it is I think that only works on a PC or a pro controller setup. That doesn't work with a normal gamepad, unfortunately. At least not on Xbox. It's not going to work. It might be able to work on PlayStation if you can like remap that big touchpad.
Mm-hmm.
Then it might work, but I can see people hitting that on accident all the time.
Yeah.
Or I mean, maybe I'm just misinterpreting this. Maybe Joe is talking about like just an option when you're viewing the weapon, an option to hold a button down to send it straight to your postmaster instead of sharding it. I think that would be really cool too. I would be down for that. In terms of quality of life, like I don't feel like there's a ton of quality of life changes. Maybe like and I'm kind of inspired by our run of Crota's End last night. How everybody keeps falling in the holes. Maybe a setting where like just specifically we can illuminate the darks a little bit more. The blacks on the screen, so to speak. Maybe make those brighter without it being grainy. I have the setting turned up a little bit on my TV as it is, and then I have it turned up a little bit in game also because I have problems with that, but also I have really hard time seeing when something is really dark, and I know that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
I already have really bad eyesight, guys. It doesn't help. The bigger the screen does not help.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes me more and more agitated. So
turn that brightness up, Josh.
I can't. I literally can't turn it up anymore without it being grainy, unfortunately. And then there's some games such as Destiny that just don't take well to it. It's like it's got like a big glowing spot in the middle.
Yeah, that's fair.
What is one that you're thinking here, Corey?
Honestly, one that I've wanted for such a long time is to re-customize your Guardian the way they look in terms of like their face. Because like stuff I thought was cool.
Guardian Barbershop.
Yeah, just give it to me. Like seriously, I've been wanting to change the way my Guardian looks for so long, and to the point where like, not that I would ever do this because I don't have enough time to do it, but there have been instances where I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna create a new Guardian of the same class and get through the dumpster fire of new light, and then just move all my equipment over.
I've had the same thought myself in the past, but I don't want to lose my OG character at the same time.
Yeah.
I have like 6,000 hours on this character across 2 games. I'm not giving it up now.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with it until they give me a Guardian Barbershop. But yeah, Guardian Barbershop is another QOL change.
Yeah.
That I mean, what's Hawthorne doing these days?
Right. Staring out into the abyss.
Yeah, the abyss of the city. Let me update that shit.
Yeah. I also think it would be cool if like, this isn't a quality of life change, but I also think it would be cool if you could like almost construct your own ships, like, like almost like they do in Starfield, but like I guess more intuitive, maybe not as complex. But
yeah, I don't. I think I don't know that we would ever get that because that would mean that they can't sell ships.
Yeah.
So
you could sell parts.
Oh my god! Please don't give them any ideas. Sam, Lord of Bananas, writes in and asks if you could adopt one Destiny entity like the Smallen or Threadlings, which would you choose? I'm of 2 minds. One, I really want to be a parent, so I really want kids. So I'm thinking Smallen. But at the same time, I love animals, and I'd really love a war beast.
Not Doggo? Not.
I mean, listen, I could get the robot Doggo, and I'm thinking Archangel would be great. I don't know if Archangel fits within the parameters here, though.
It does. We make the show. We make up our own rules.
Well, I mean, if we're going there, then I mean, I'm going something mechanical because I don't trust myself enough with living creatures. I'm going either Archangel or I'm going with a Puka.
Ooh, Pukas.
Yeah. Since those are mechanically created and not artificially created like the ghosts. So.
Ooh, a pet ghost.
What would you choose in this
Doggo.
instance, Doggo? Yeah, I think Archangel is like the easiest one to say yes to.
Yeah.
If it's got to be an organic being, then I'm getting a Cabal War Beast.
Yeah. A Thrall.
Corey's just gonna have a Thrall chained up in his game room, and his wife's gonna be like, "What the hell?" Corey is like, "No to more children."
It's like the psycho cricket in A Bug's Life.
You don't want to adopt a couple Smallen and explain to your children why they have siblings.
I mean, maybe.
What's one more at this point, Corey?
Oh, don't know. It's a
lot. That's what we say to Nerd. Yeah. Nerd, what's one more at this point?
Gosh, he's gonna floor an entire baseball team at some point.
I mean, he already has an NBA starting 5 and a 6th man of the year. So
yeah.
Tiger Jesus writes in and asks if Tower Casuals had their own Festival of the Lost mask, what would it be? Buddy, it's a sandwich, okay?
Yeah.
It's a sandwich. What are we doing here?
No, mine would be the Earl in the logo.
Have you listened to the last 160 something episodes that we've done? It's a sandwich. There's nothing else.
Yeah. I want the Earl. Okay.
Oh
Rip Hawaiian barbecue. You're sorely
R.I.P.
missed.
Hawaiian barbecue. I'm still upset about it. I'm still sad. Virtual Massacre writes in and asks if you could see any battle from the lore come to the big screen and have a blockbuster budget, which would you choose?
Well, wait, what was the first part of that question?
If you could see any battle from the lore.
Oh God, Battle of the Six Fronts would be cool.
For me, it's Twilight Gap.
Yeah, Twilight Gap would be cool.
I think
too.
Twilight Gap's got to be it for me. And I mean, there's so many plots that spin out of Twilight Gap too. You know, the Titans not talking, the Titan leaders not talking to each other anymore. Anna seemingly dying in it, but they never recovered the body.
Yeah.
So she used that as an excuse to dip and disappear. There's some really cool stuff you could do there. I'd also love to see the Great Ahamkara hunt.
Yeah. I also kind of want to see like the Iron Lords and the Warlords. I think that'd be kind of interesting.
I agree. I think that could be really cool too.
Maybe not from like a huge big budget point of view, but like from just like I want to see that point of view. So.
For sure. Jiggly Panda writes in and says, since Corey,
that's me,
made my heart hurt.
Yep.
By listing the movies he hasn't seen, I was wondering if you could tell us what movies you have seen and let the audience and Josh be heartbroken. I don't understand this question. I think you're asking for what Corey hasn't seen.
All right, here's what we're gonna.
I'm gonna list 10 very common movies, and we're gonna see if Corey has seen them.
Okay. Also, you can eliminate like stuff like Star Wars and obviously stuff like that. But
I mean, I don't think anything is obvious at this point.
That's fair.
Okay, The Lord of the Rings.
I fell asleep like 3 separate times during the first movie. And I've never completed.
Fellowship of the Ring is one of the greatest movies ever made. You are fucking ridiculous. We've already established you've never seen Back to the Future. Have you seen Die Hard?
Yeah, I've seen
the first Die Hard.
I've seen the first 3. Okay,
well, at least you've seen the good ones.
Yeah.
We've established you have not seen Alien.
Mm-mm.
This is hard when I have to basically eliminate all of Disney.
There's some Disney movies I've never seen, but I would not go that route. I think that would probably be safe.
Okay, yeah, maybe this is going to be a little bit harder. Because see, what I think of common and what is actually common are probably two entirely different things.
Just name the ones you think are common.
Scott Pilgrim.
Nope.
God damn it. Shaun of the Dead.
Nope. For those of you listening to the audio, Josh's face just gets even more and more disappointed.
I'm very disappointed. I'm going to my library. Rocky. Have you seen Rocky?
Oh yeah, dude, I've seen them all.
Oh my god.
Oh, I haven't seen Creed though. I haven't seen any of them.
What? Corey!
Dude, as much as I love Rocky, I've never seen Creed.
I was gonna say Creed, and I was like, no. Creed is a recent movie. Surely he's seen this.
Nope.
The Matrix. Have you seen The Matrix?
Oh yeah, I've seen The Matrix. Matrix is like a top 5 movie for me.
Oh my god, guys, I'm actively floored here. The Bourne Identity. Have you seen The Bourne Identity?
Yeah, I've seen them all.
Okay,
even the bad ones. In the
so Corey likes Matt Damon. We've established that. Heat. Have you seen Heat?
Nope.
The Godfather?
Nope. Let's keep this going. This is fun.
Titanic?
Yeah, I saw it once because my parents wanted to go see it, and I went with them.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that you went because a girl wanted you to. I have seen that movie on 3 separate occasions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I never made it all the way through until I saw it with Chelsea.
Oh man, that movie sucks.
Because 2 previous girlfriends wanted to watch it, and I fell asleep like 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
Both times. Oh, Avatar? Have you seen Avatar?
Yeah, but you're missing some significant James Cameron movies that I've never seen.
Terminator?
Nope. Audio listeners, Josh's eyes are completely shut now.
Friday?
Nope.
Ghostbusters?
Nope. Oh wait,
You've never seen Ghostbusters?
I just watched the first one last year because we did it for an episode of something.
Oh my god.
I just
This
saw
is
it,
just-
and I thought it was pretty bad. Like, I have a hard time wondering why that movie is so popular.
Corey. Anything by Quentin Tarantino.
Only Django Unchained once. It was fine.
I can't keep this going.
Yes,
I
you
can't
can.
keep no.
Five
I can't.
more, Josh. 5 more.
Oh my god, 5 more. I don't know if I have 5 more.
Yes,
in
you
me,
do. There's a
Corey.
billion movies out there.
The Martian?
The what?
The Martian?
I've never even heard of it.
Oh my fucking god. All right.
Oh, wait.
Mission-
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. I have not seen it. The one with Matt Damon. Okay.
Mission Impossible?
No. I thought you were talking about like some sort of
Corey,
like,
there's
80s
7 of
movie.
them. There's 7 Mission Impossibles, and you haven't seen one of them.
Nope, it's too many.
Office Space?
Nope.
Inception?
I think I've seen half of it. The second half of it. So I was very lost.
This is just the worst. Guys, we have an opening for a co-host and producer spot.
Christopher Nolan is also a good one to have not seen most of his movies.
Okay, so excluding the Batman movies.
Yeah.
The Prestige?
Yes, I have seen The Prestige.
Oh my god. Okay, you've at least seen like my favorite Christopher Nolan movie.
That's the only
Superbad?
other... Yes, I've seen Superbad. That's the
Pineapple Express.
No. Prestige is the only other Christopher Nolan movie I've ever watched besides Batman.
Oh my god.
I couldn't even tell you like any of the movies that he's made other than like Oppenheimer and Interstellar.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. This is devastating.
This is Josh's favorite new segment of the show. Every week for every week for the rest of the year, you're going to name 5 movies and ask if I haven't seen them. Movie time on Tower Casuals.
This is the worst. And then Jiggly Panda also asks a much better question for all of us. Do you think we'll get a new seasonal event, or is the current calendar the one we keep forever? We had a couple questions to this effect this week. I think Aaron also asks this later on down in the thread.
He did.
So I do think that they're due for a new seasonal event of some kind. I just don't know what you do. Like, we can't do like Destiny celebrates Arbor Day or, you know,
you could.
Indigenous Peoples Day. I don't think you can really make that you know, a fun event in the tower.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving would just be weird.
Memorial Day probably shouldn't do. Seems insensitive.
Yeah, I don't think Memorial Day or the 4th of July would really go over well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who else you can what else you could do. That's the problem is like I like the idea that they made Solstice its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why we do Halloween and Christmas, and like those two. I think those 3 events are probably here to stay forever. Guardian Games is the one that I think needs to go. Even though I have fun during Guardian Games, fun-ish, it's time to go.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense. It would make sense if it was like an Olympics year, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's next year, so it'll be back at least one more year.
Well, but I'm going to say at that point, because it's what is it next year? Is it Summer Olympics?
I think it's winter because they're talking about basketball. Maybe it is Summer Olympics.
Basketball is a summer sport.
Is it? I thought it was a winter sport.
Basketball was not a winter sport. You do not play basketball outside.
Well, I don't. No, you can play inside.
They
when
play
it's
hockey.
cold, you play inside.
They play hockey during the Winter Olympics, Corey.
I'm just saying, when it's cold outside, you play. No, because they're recruiting for. Oh, well, never mind. I don't know. You know what? I don't watch the Olympics. I don't care. USA, go team. The last Olympics I actually remember like kind of partially paying attention to was when Ted Lasso was introduced like 10 years ago.
I'm just glad you know who Ted Lasso is.
Dude, that show was awesome.
I think the probably the most reasonable thing to do would be to do maybe some smaller holiday events. I actually would really love, and I've said this a couple times, I'd really like to see Guardian Games go away and bring back the Revelry. Like a spring themed event. I think that would be really cool to drop in April, because I mean you're not going to do Easter, like, so that's getting into like religious connotations and whatnot.
Yeah, but I think Solstice is kind of supposed to cover all of that kind of stuff. Without,
I don't know. I would like some sort of spring event that isn't Guardian Games.
Yeah.
I would also like it because it would mean that around Valentine's you could bring back Crimson Doubles for a little bit.
Oh man, Crimson Doubles! Give me that chocolate ghost.
Even for like a 2-week event. And I think that's part of what this game needs, is more like maybe 2 or 3 week. And I know we have a couple 3-week, all these are 3-week events, but like do like 2-week events or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Like lessen the grind a little bit. Like, guys, well, as long as it's fun, we'll play it.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with it. As long as we are having fun, we will play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the God damn it, Rangers. I just watched them hit a 3-run homer. I'm so upset.
You could be watching this terrible Jaguars Saints game.
I think that just at a certain point, we need to go back to the drawing board on these events also.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too upset if they, and I know they won't do this because Eververse brings in money and events bring in money, if next year they just hit the big old reset button and didn't do Festival of the Lost, Dawning, or Guardian Games, and they just did Solstice.
Do you think, I mean, that's a possibility with the new kind of rotation, right? I mean, not like taking out events, but changing them up with the new episode kind of rotation of replacing seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think I think it's possible for sure. But I think if you were going to do it, next year's a really good time to hit that reset button.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just talked about, like we've had Festival of the Lost, and I mean, like they've changed Festival of the Lost, obviously, right? But like the Dawning has been the same for 6 years.
Yeah.
Guardian Games has been the same for 3.
God, if I have to go to the European Aerial Zone one more time,
I'm not even bringing up Solstice. I didn't even participate this year. I used to love Solstice, and now I'm just like, God, get me out of here.
Yeah.
And I think that brings up some, not like bad feelings, but it's just at this point, I think a lot of us who play all the time are pretty just like apathetic towards the events.
Mm-hmm.
I do think they need to come up with different things, but like Halloween, as much as I hate to say it, like the haunted sectors thing is fine, but I can't believe I'm going to say this, we've had this for 3 years now.
Yeah.
If you just did different haunted sectors next year, I think a lot of us would be like, oh, thank God, it's a breath of fresh air. But you're at a point where you have to do something else.
Yeah.
I like the idea that during Halloween we continue to get the goofy costumes. I think that and the masks makes Halloween fun in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to figure out a different avenue to do it. Just like how the Haunted Forest got stale, the sectors are getting kind of stale. And part of that's because you're not doing different sectors. I don't know what you do for Christmas. I have no idea what you do for Christmas. But cookie baking, it's probably time to go away. Or at least have it in addition to something. I don't know. The European Aerial Zone has to go away.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I'm so tired of that place.
I know. It sucks.
So tired of it. That's got to go away. And I think that, Guardian Games, it's time. We've had Guardian Games for 3 years. It's time to do some 3-4 years now. 4 years. We may be up. I think this may have been the 4th year.
Yeah, I think this was 4.
It's time. It's time. It's time to go bye-bye. And that's okay with me. That's totally okay with me. Just goodbye, get us out of here. Crimson Doubles, man, it's been long enough. Bring it back. A lot of people would love a duo. They'd love a duo playlist. So I think something like that could be cool. But maybe like extend Crimson Doubles instead of just being a Crucible thing. Maybe like There's Duo Strikes or Duo Gambit would be interesting. I don't know how you make that happen. That would make you acknowledge that Gambit still exists.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they should do a Valentine's Day event and Drifter should be the vendor for it. I think that would genuinely be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
I don't know, like what other holidays do you possibly like celebrate that like doesn't step into religion? I think that's part of the issue, that it doesn't step into religion or isn't like exclusively a US thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I think like they've kind of done the most neutral thing they can by, coming up with the solstice. And solstice, I think, always worked good. Maybe here's my thing. I feel like solstice maybe should be shifted to the end of the year to time it. And I mean, that would overlap with Crimson Doubles, obviously, but like time it to where it happens the 3 weeks before or 4 weeks before the end of the expansion. So that way, for those 3 weeks you have, and then you have that last week as a buffer for any story material you need to throw out there before the expansion.
Yeah.
That would start bringing players back into the fold quicker. And that was always the purpose of Solstice in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Before it became an Eververse hellscape. I'd like to see something like that. I don't know, maybe you do a summer event that's like you bring back vaulted content for like a month or something. But I feel like if you do that, then people are going, why isn't this back permanently?
Yeah.
So that may be that may not be the avenue to do. Even just designing like new zones to do these activities in would go a long way. I think like just show us that you care, because doing the aerial zone year after year and making it mean less and less is not the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like now you don't even go hunt the chest, so what's the point of us even being there? You might as well just load us into Trossland and have us do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, something definitely needs to be, change. Something needs to be changed.
Hydra writes in and asks, what Destiny character would you want as your therapist?
Oh, God. I mean,
not Shaxx.
I feel like the safe answer is Zavala, actually. Like,
yeah, I genuinely think that Zavala or like maybe even Eris are like the safe choices here.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I would choose Crow just because I've had to sit through enough of his therapy sessions. He can sit through a few of mine.
Make him suffer.
Yeah, I've had to help him overcome his trauma. He can help me overcome mine.
Yeah.
I think Glint would be a good choice.
Yeah.
Glint seems to be the most understanding of the ghosts that we've met.
Mm-hmm.
Ours just annoys me.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's a safe choice. You can't do the gunsmith because he'll just forget everything.
I mean, hey, maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like Devrim would be good too.
Yeah.
He'd like prepare tea for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Devrim tea, some therapy. It's a good idea. Thing is, though, you're gonna have to hang out in that disaster of a church that he hangs out in.
I mean, hey, listen, in the lore, he pretty regularly comes to the tower, so we're good. He can come hang out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're good. We can be buddies.
Yeah. I just got the song for Goof Troop stuck in my head just now.
Oh my God. Airmail Attic writes in, would you rather farm spectral pages in the first contact mission for an hour or eat hive sushi, which would be raw hive worms presented in an ice rolled form off of Savathun's thick thighs?
Oh God.
Listen, buddy, I'm keeping this is a family show. I've only said fuck like 10 times tonight. Okay, I'm trying to be.
Half of those were for the Rangers.
Most of them are for the Rangers. I would like to keep this a family-friendly show, so in the interest of that, I'm farming spectral pages in the first contact mission. Yeah. Also, because it's going to stop me when I hit 75, so really it's only like 10 minutes of suffering.
Yeah.
Loopholes.
I really don't want to eat worm sushi off of, no offense to Savathun or anything, but like, man, wonder how crusted over those thighs are. You know what I mean?
Jesus fucking Christ. Titan Chicken Man writes in,
Slimy.
since other devs have done it in different MMOs, would you like to see farming introduced in Destiny 2, and what would it look like? I absolutely do not want to see farming introduced in Destiny 2. Holy shit. We already have enough materials. We did have farming in Destiny 1. It was called run around the zones and gather all the materials and then wait.
I think he means an Animal Crossing style
I'm
farming.
fully aware. I am 100% aware of what the connotation is here, and I'm still saying no. Absolutely not. That nothing would get me to stop playing this game quicker. I promise you. Absolutely nothing.
But you're going to play the Hobbit farming game.
I am playing the Hobbit farming game because that's a Hobbit farming game, and it's not a farming simulator inside of my shooter.
It's fair.
I'm good. No, I don't need to see Farmer Zavala giving me tips out there, okay? Zavala in overalls is not something I want to see.
I already got my farming game. Disney Dreamlight Valley, game of the year.
Fucking God. Saint 14 writes in and asks, if you had to explain the 3 different Guardians to a new light, what class are you shitting on the most? And how would you explain each class? Oh, I'm 100% shitting on Titans, guys.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Just taking a gigantic dump on Titans.
Whoa. That's not. Sit in
the corner and eat your crayons, Corey.
Purple's the best.
See? Proving my point. He's got purple shit.
Yeah. Oh man, imagine if your shit was purple. How scared would you be?
I don't know. How scared were you after you ate those purple crayons?
I was concerned. I just switched over to green because they say eat your green vegetables. So.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I'm taking a dump on Titans. Absolutely taking a dump on Titans.
Man, I don't know who. I guess. Man.
Big ass shoulders, and they're not even big shoulders. They're just big shoulder pads.
I know.
It's like you're wearing a lady's pantsuit with shoulder pads.
God, it's like you gotta really find them, normal sized ones.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna wear normal looking armor that usually looks cool. By the way,
yeah, the motocross Vanguard armor has small arms, shoulder pads. So,
how would you explain each class to a new light?
Well, first of all, I'm firing back, and I would shit on hunters.
Of course, you would.
Yep. I'm shocked that we both didn't pick warlocks just because we shit on them all the time. In a joking way.
No, I figured that. I figured they didn't need any of the spice today.
I would say if you're really into Halo, you would play a Titan because that's the more, traditional, I would say, kind of shooter class. If you want magic, real magic, you would play the Warlock. And if you want to play stealth, more stealthy and more strategic, you would play the Hunter.
And there's nothing stealthy and strategic about hunters these days. I would say if you Titans, punch, Warlocks, Harry Potter space magic, and hunters jump bang bang.
10 points for Gryffindor.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Oh my God.
Oh, good
What's
Lord.
happening tonight?
Classic Mark writes in and asks, what 2 superheroes or villains, so any comic character, would you use to help you get to the lighthouse?
Oh, Jesus. Jeez. I mean, man, there's so many to choose from. So many good ones to choose from.
So, I mean, I'll go ahead and go first, because I'm bringing a Warlock and a Titan with me.
Yeah.
Going for a well-rounded one, because I already play a Hunter, so I'm bringing a Warlock and a Titan with me. I'm bringing Thanos.
That's fair. That's a good.
Thanos is ruthless. He's gonna throw those barricades up. He definitely plays a Striker Titan, so he's gonna charge on it. And then I'm bringing the Scarlet Witch with me because she's a little unhinged and doesn't really care if there was friendly fire in this game. She would not give a shit if she killed you with it.
I was gonna pick Scarlet Witch, I think, but.
She's gonna pack the most brutal spells possible.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna pick Storm.
Okay.
to replace Scarlet Witch for my team. The Electric Warlock. And then, do I want a Hunter or do I want another Titan, Josh? I guess I would have to have a
I don't
Hunter.
know. Maybe the hunters don't want to be with you after you just shit on them.
Good.
Wow. What a piece of shit.
You know what? No Hunter. Titan.
What an absolute piece of shit.
Captain America. Throwing shields. Throwing barricades.
Gross.
Healing people.
Gross.
Let's do it.
Ew. Our next question comes to us from Stitchy06. Which Festival of the Light mask do you want the most and why? I got the Rolk mask, and that's the one I wanted the most.
Yeah.
I wanted that one because I want to run around in my black and red fit with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm going to have Rolk's glaive out when I do it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in terms of these masks, I don't know. I don't really care for the Callus one. I would say...
Yeah, the Callus one's a little goofy.
Yeah. I kind of like the Rasputin one just because it's kind of plain and kind of cool looking. The Marosov one looks really scary looking, like not correct in some way. It just looks weird. I'm gonna go with the Rasputin one, or the that one, the robot one, robot face.
Corey likes Clovis Bray. He likes the free one you get just for starting the event.
Yep, let's do it.
And then of course we already talked about Aaron's question, seeing how we did Jiggly Pandas. It said the same holiday events over and over. What are some suggestions of new activities to add into the event? Destiny 2 celebrates Arbor Day coming next year.
Yeah.
Arbor Day. I promise it's coming. Yeah. Celebrate the trees, man. The trees.
We got to start getting these, like, what national day is it thing in here. Like,
Oh my God. National Bread Day. Mm. You can only use Jotun for 24 hours.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be terrifying and horrible. I promised that we had 2 big lore pieces this week. That we're going to go through from the book Rites of Passage. We're going to start getting into the seasonal lore now that they finally unblocked it in the API. I am going to do some Festival of the Lost lore next week because I think that the book is actually really well done this year from the opening and ending pieces that I read already. I'm really looking forward to reading the whole thing this week. But that comes after I save New York. This first one is a matter of distrust. We've seen some discussion in the Discord about this one back when it first came out, like 6 weeks ago. But we're going to jump into it now because it does address a question I think a lot of people in the community had. As Ikora neared the console and the helm, a voice cried out from the shadows as a figure lunged for her. Ikora's hands moved reflexively to deflect the blow and deliver a killing strike, but she stopped after recognizing her attacker. She had allowed Elsie to grab the front of her robes and shove her against the bulkhead. Were you even listening? Elsie screamed, her hands shaking in frustration. How many reports, Ikora? How many times did I tell you what I saw? The pain in her voice tore at Ikora. She knew the stories almost as well as Elsie at this point. The Exo had traveled back from a future where Eris Morn held dominion over everything and even bent Savathûn to her will. It had not ended well. Elsie pushed away and began to pace, furious. Elsie, Ikora said gently, I know the future you came from, but that is not this future. I have seen what happens when Eris Morn has unchecked power, Elsie hissed. I've smelled the corpses. Ikora wanted to comfort Elsie, but knew any attempts at camaraderie would push her further away. Instead, she straightened her robes. The Eris in your timeline was corrupted by darkness, she said coolly. We now understand how to wield the darkness without becoming lost in it. Eris Morn was corrupted by power, Ikora, Elsie said. The same power you're encouraging the Guardians to, she nearly choked on the words, to tithe to her through hive rituals. And you think that's somehow better? Ikora took a deep breath. I hear you, she said with quiet authority. And while I trust Eris, I will not lose my objectivity. If actions must be taken, I will take them. Elsie shook her head. I wonder if you said the same thing before your body was buried in the wreckage of the tower. Ikora waited. One cannot speak when the other is unwilling to listen. Osiris had once told, it's in her voice, Elsie said. She sounded small. She sounded truly afraid, Ikora realized. You can hear it, even though her hive transformation. When she speaks, she's smiling. Elsie took a careful breath. when she led her troops from the Scarlet Keep, when she attacked the Traveler, when she turned us against each other and I was forced to. Ikora reached out a hand to stop her from having to say it. To kill my sister, Elsie whispered, pleading for understanding. To kill Anna. Eris was smiling that same smile. Ikora laced her fingers together and looked at the floor. I won't watch it happen again, Elsie said, and her voice was ice.
Chills.
This is a question that a lot of people immediately had, like, why is Elsie not a part of this season? And I do agree. I do think Elsie should have been a big part of this season, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know how you cram another character in when you have Ikora, Imaru, and Eris already there.
Do you think that, like, Elsie should have been in place of Ikora at all?
No. And the only reason I said that is because Ikora, canonically, is the only person besides us strong enough to put her down.
Yeah, that's fair.
If she gets out of control.
Yeah.
Ikora is a warlock. She's probably like the second smartest in terms of the mystic arts in the Guardian ranks.
Yeah.
Behind Eris. So I would suspect no, and I don't think that the Vanguard allows the ritual to happen without Ikora being there either.
Yeah.
Zavala basically says, it's on you.
Yeah.
And washes his hands and walks away.
Yeah.
I do find it interesting that Drifter is not a major part of the season. He's in it a little bit, but he's not in it, like, majorly.
Yeah.
Found that a little interesting. Thought maybe he would have had a bigger role here.
Yeah.
I do wonder if this is setting up for a post-Final Shape plotline, though. We've long talked about the mortality of Eris, and with what we know from the ending cutscenes, Eris says, oh yeah, all the power's gone, but there's kind of this sense that it's not fully gone, that she went through some shit and she may be changed forever on the inside.
Yeah. I mean, transforming like that would probably do it, huh?
Right. And the final episode for this first batch of them that we're getting next fall is going to deal with the Hive.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've suspected that we'll deal with Xivu Arath during that, or that'll lead into us dealing with Xivu Arath.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can really write Eris out of the story now without writing the other two Hive gods out also.
Yeah.
It feels like she is, for better or worse, she's connected to them now.
Yeah.
We all thought it was a little strange that Eris didn't have this huge part to play in the Witch Queen. And I think part of Season of the Witch is kind of making up for that.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it was very strange that she didn't have this big role in it.
Yeah.
Considering how tied to the Hive she is. Like, her whole story is about the Hive, basically.
Yeah.
But this just keeps going back to, this is a scene that I can't help but feel we should have seen play out. It's kind of a recurring theme, right? Because we already had one other lore page that I'd said 100% we needed to see play out because it's the second half of the cutscene.
Right.
This one I feel like probably should have played out after week 2, which is when this happens. This should have played out as a small cutscene, because I think it's important for the general audience to understand what Elsie's role is in this. Elsie's largely been sidelined since, with the exception of a little bit in Season of the Seraph, she's largely been sidelined since Beyond Light, which is another recurring criticism we've had, is that they just toss aside the expansion characters when they're done with them and don't come back to them, really. The planetary vendors, so to speak, like Eris, is a very notable exception. This kind of highlights yet another problem with that. I think Elsie maybe shouldn't have been like a central figure, but should have been there to voice her objections, and almost certainly should have been there at the final ritual.
Yeah.
So I think even like her and Drifter being on comms during that would have been pretty important. So I'm curious to see how this plays out. I do think, because when Elsie says she's not going to watch it happen again, that leads me to think that she's going to try to kill Eris at some point to prevent it.
Yeah.
Even though she knows that this is a different timeline than any of the other ones she's ever been lost in. Like, they've never made it past the events of Beyond Light in her other timelines.
Yeah, but wasn't in one of the other timelines Eris became the Witch Queen?
Well, yeah, that's
And
what she explicitly
and
says that here.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm saying like Elsie, like what if this is just delaying the inevitable, this timeline?
That's Elsie's whole thing, but the point, and like in game character, Elsie likely doesn't understand this right now. The divergent point was us defeating Aramis,
Right.
us not caving into the darkness, and us wielding stasis fully in the final mission is the divergent point. Everything that's happened after never happened in the other timeline. We never went to the throne world. We never went to Neomuna. We never got Rasputin back. All this and that. Like, these things never happened. We never actually faced the witness. The Travelussi was not created in the alternate timeline. So I think like Elsie always is urging caution to everyone else. I think she needs to take a bit of her own medicine here and, trust. Like, Eris has not led us astray yet. She did not fall and be corrupted to stasis like she was in every other timeline that she's experienced. And that's largely because we as the Guardian do not fall. That's the catalyst. When we fall, everyone does.
Mhm.
Like, because we're the most powerful and then we fall. So very interesting. I do think that this is definitely setting up for post final shape. Just yeah, shenanigans.
Mhm.
We have one more piece from this book, Auspices, which kind of helps us figure out what everybody else is doing during this. Drifter sidled through Eris's Anathium, poking at her occult doodads. Doodads is actually a real word in this lore piece. Many of the unidentifiable objects were covered in one type of grime or another: wax, tallow, machine grease, or blood. He shook his head with affection, amazed that somebody so sharp could be so sloppy. He spotted the deck of whispers spread haphazardly across Eris's lectern, and strode across the room, gathering them into a clean pile. He'd had so many fortunes and misfortunes over his many lifetimes, he doubted another one would tip the scales either way. Drifter cut the deck fearlessly and flipped over the top card with a flourish. The Harbinger. As he stared into the card, the magnitude of Eris's undertaking loomed large in his mind. For one dark instant, he allowed himself to consider the possibility of her failure. "Don't worry, Moondust," he muttered. "You got this." He casually placed the card back on top of the deck. "And when you're done, I'll be waiting." Zavala eyed the deck of whispers warily. He had been touring Eris's base of operations when the cards caught his eye. They seemed to draw his attention with silent insistence. The commander had never been one to seek omens or portents. It wasn't that he chafed at the idea of cosmic forces influencing his fate. The far-reaching effects of the Traveler on his life had long put to rest his hubristic sense of self-determination. Rather, he distrusted the riddles that such oracular devices employed. He had heard too many of the Witch Queen's half-truths to trust anything but hard evidence anymore, and yet Zavala picked up the deck and immediately sensed its power. It felt heavier than the weight of its materials. As he hefted it in his palm, a card slid from the middle of the deck as if pulled by an unseen hand. Zavala watched gravely as it fell face up at his feet. Lament. He gave a plaintive chuckle. Perhaps the oracles were not so difficult to interpret after all. Ikorakel. Mithrax called out to the Anathium. He had come looking for the Warlock Vanguard on city business, but having found the space empty, paused his search to scrutinize her latest operation. Mithrax had strong objections to Eris's use of hive magic, but knew the Vanguard was not his house to command. He perused the historic artifacts littering the space with mild distaste. They reminded him too much of the relics of Nezarec, which had plagued his youth. As his gaze came to rest on the deck of whispers, Jesus, he felt a familiar numbness spread throughout his chest. Though the sensation had become more prevalent in recent months, he told no one. As the Kel picked up the deck with his upper right hand, he felt his splicer gauntlet pulse with energy. The cards were clearly imbued with a power beyond his experience. With his lower left hand, he delicately withdrew a card and placed it face up upon the table. Ascension. Mithrax pondered the omen gravely. It reminded him of all the tribulations his house had suffered in coming to the last city. Their ascension had been a violent and sorrowful one filled with detractors. Yet the peace and security they had found among the humans had justified their risks. Now it was Eris who was walking into the sanctum of her mortal enemy to save her people. Mithrax shook his head in self-rebuke. Perhaps he'd been too rigid in his opinions regarding Eris Morn's mission. He owed her the same grace the Vanguard had extended to him. He slid the card back into the middle of the deck and felt the numbness in his chest recede once again. So there's two things to draw from this. I think the Zavala portion is just kind of there. It's kind of Zavala just like, thinking on the events going on. The first is the Drifter part. Specifically what he says at the end, when you're done, I'll be waiting. I think that's kind of a fun nod to the fan fiction romance that Destiny players have developed between the two. That there's been underlying currents of it since Season of Arrivals, and I think that actually would be a really fitting conclusion to both their character arcs.
Yeah.
To admit it before Eris dies.
Yeah.
But in typical Drifter fashion, it probably wouldn't happen until after she's dead.
Yeah.
The most interesting part of all of this is Mithrax's part. He draws the Ascension card, and he explains it away as his city ascended in the last city, and to become valued members of the city and this and that. It had been a bloody path. I see it as something different. He talks about the numbness in his chest, that it's gotten worse in the last couple of months, and this is directly tied to the relics of Nezarec that we were hunting in Plunder.
Yeah.
And I can't help but wonder if Ascension hints at his death and resurrection. I think it's too on the nose. It's probably too on the nose, but I think it's worth thinking about. I know we really have hammered this home, but I think we've pretty much solidified that Ido is not going to be that. And the fact that Mithrax's daughter happens to be the scribe for the House of Light also means that if he were to die and be risen again as a guardian, she then recounts the tales to him as the scribe. She's the keeper of the history, this and that. Ascension also could just mean Mithrax dies a final death. Not everybody gets saved by a ghost, as we saw with Amanda. So either way, I think we're going to look back on this piece as a pretty significant turning point for Mithrax's story. What that turning point is yet to be determined. We could figure it out as early as next season, or maybe it's in a future episode. But either way, that's something that's going to have to be dealt with, especially if they're talking about that the pain in his chest has been increasing.
Yeah.
That's hinting, it's spreading and overtaking. And at some point, that's going to have to be dealt with. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I almost wish it would happen maybe sooner than later.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, because there's three things that have to happen next season already, and we have to figure out what the Wish Arcana card is talking about, which a lot of us have speculated it's going to involve the Ahamkara egg from Season of the Lost. Number two, we have to figure out how we get through the portal. That's going to be the biggest mystery. I think that other things that we need to consider that could happen, we could see Mithrax's death and resurrection, but also the Curse of the Dreaming City. I mean, that's what we keep coming back to, right? Like, I think that has to be dealt with now that nobody is receiving those tithes. Neither Savathun nor Xivu Arath are receiving those. It's time for the curse to be broken. It's time for us to bring Mara fully into the fray. I know she's in it because of Defiance, but it's time to really bring her into the final fray.
Yeah.
As we assemble the allies. And I suspect that we're going to have something similar to in Arrivals leading into Beyond Light. We did the Exodus missions where we were trying to convince our allies to evacuate the planets that were going to fall to the pyramids. And really the only one we ever convinced to come with us was Ana. Ana and her USB drive with Rasputin on it. That was it. We never were able to convince Brother Vance to leave. Of course, we know what happened to Asher Mir. He went in and pulled the Pyramidion down, became part of the Vex network ultimately. And then Sloane survived by being partially taken. And that's, getting worse and worse. I suspect that she dies before the end as well.
Yeah.
So I think you do the inverse of that, and it's going to be going to all these destinations and bringing everybody in. Assemble. We joke about it, assembling the Avengers, but it's gonna have to happen, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably gonna be. You don't think that's gonna be the campaign, do you?
No,
It's
think
got to be next season.
the campaign I think has to start with us flying into the portal.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's how next season ends, to be honest, and then they just kind of replay it at the beginning of the final shape.
Yeah, I feel like because there's usually something that happens that final week. This is one of those instances where I think you're going to get something that'll happen right before the server shut down, like they did with Beyond Light and the Traveler waking up. I think, well, God, was that Beyond Light or was that right before Witch Queen? It was before one of those. But I think that's going to I think something like that has to happen.
Yeah.
There's going to be something leading into the downtime.
Yeah.
That everyone participates in. And for me, it would be really cool if that ended, if the ending cutscene was us powering up the ships and, leading, basically our ship leading everybody to the portal. And then that's where it ends. And the expansion starts right there.
Yeah.
So.
What's next, Josh?
That's it.
Oh.
That's it. We had two pretty long and big lore pieces. We've answered all of our questions. I think that's going to be it for us tonight.
All right, lore. Good. I'm glad you can stop stressing about the API.
I'm just happy. And it's funny because we predicted this was going to happen. I was literally starting to take pictures of the lore for this week, so I could just read them off the computer. And I saw the tweets about, oh yeah, the API is fixed. Great. Please don't let this happen again.
Yes. I bet it happens next with the expansion, 100%. Just because 100%. They don't want people, really.
I mean, but we've seen they can block them and unblock them in individual weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They've always done, they've done that for the last year and a half. So I don't understand why suddenly we're pretending that we can't do it. But that's where we are.
It's close, Josh.
It's very close. Thank God. We are rapidly approaching, and with the holidays, it'll feel like we're gonna feel like it's taking a little bit longer, but in terms of our episode, it is fast approaching.
Mm-hmm. Fast approaching. Just like the end of this episode, Josh. Just like the end of this episode.
Just like the end of the episode. Get me out of here, Corey.
I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of Tower Casuals. You can join the Discord. Join the Discord. Ask us questions in the Discord. You can follow us on social media at Tower Casuals. Josh, as always, thank you for your time. Where can we find you?
Unfortunately, you can still find me on Twitter at Josh_Finn, 2 N's.
Did you see they're going to start charging $1 a year to use Twitter? That's like
for new users.
Oh, is it only new users?
It's new users. I actually have a shout out to give here before the end of the show.
Shout out.
As you guys know, our friend World Jukebox is back from his deployment overseas and has taken up doing woodworking.
Ooh.
He has started his own business, making some small stuff.
Nice.
I have told him he can talk about it in Discord a little bit, and I know he was talking about it in there the other day. I am going to figure out how to pronounce the website because I don't want to mispronounce it, but lathenights.com, LATHE nights.com is his site. And then using the there is a discount code for 10% off. Tower Casuals Podcast is the discount code.
Nice.
For 10%. Go check it out. It's a nice little shop here. You go there, right off the bats. There are some. He's got a whole catalog here of individual products. There's some really nice cutting boards there, coaster and ashtray combinations, bottle openers, charcuterie boards.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's some really, really nice stuff here. I'm hoping to order some stuff myself here, maybe order some Christmas presents. That is not me, being like, oh yeah, I'm just going to do this. No, this is like genuinely well-made stuff. We love World Jukebox, and we always want to give shout outs to our community where we can. So
yeah,
go show them some love. Even if you're not going to purchase anything, show them some love. maybe share a site around. We'll put it in the comments of this episode as well.
Yeah.
So
I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just pronounced late nights, and it's like maybe that's like a name or something important to him. I don't know.
Don't know. I don't know, and I don't want to. I don't want to assume. I probably should have asked this question, but yeah, we'll talk about it for the next couple episodes. We're gonna keep giving World Jukebox a shout out. Next couple episodes, somebody who has given a lot to our community. As you guys may recall, those of you who've been around for a long time, he has been writing questions for a long time.
Yeah,
was one of the first who was writing and emailing questions to us. Was one of the first people in the Discord. So we're talking pre-episode 100.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking like episode 50.
Yeah,
50 and maybe even earlier that we were hearing from him. So, shout out. Very happy to promote your business, man.
Yeah, for sure. Just tell us how to pronounce it next time, like in the Discord or something.
Yes, so I don't accidentally offend.
Yeah. You want to spell that out one more time, Josh?
LATHE Nights.com.
Nice. Go support. You can find me at I am Corey HD on social media. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode. Until next time, we love you. Goodbye.